So guys, 'tis the season to be jolly, the year is coming to an end, and that means it's that time again, time for our annual roundup of the best/favorite tech I've been using this year. Let's ramble.
Hold up, things go wild when I pull up, they all on me like it wants.
Hey, what's up guys? It's great to see you all again, and if you're new here, I'm Patrick and this is where I ramble about tech and other stuff. So yeah, the items on this list are either tech I've used extensively throughout 2023, things that really stood out to me, or things I'm really excited about. A couple of weeks back, I did a desk setup video for my M3 iMac where I featured the Revo Do Pro, which is a 12-in-1 docking station. This thing is capable of driving 3 monitors, up to 8K 30Hz or 4K 60Hz. It has a built-in GAN charger and a ton of ports on the back, including Ethernet. It's a fantastic docking station, but I was kind of wishing it had Thunderbolt capabilities. The M3 iMac has only 4 USB-C ports, only 2 of those ports are Thunderbolt ports. I'm using progressively more Thunderbolt accessories, like my fast SSD drives for instance, and my favorite preamp, so I really don't want to give up any Thunderbolt ports where I don't need to. It's like they heard me at Ugreen HQ because, I kid you not, a few weeks after I took use of the Revo Do Pro, Ugreen sent me their new Revo Do Max 213 for review, which is basically its big Thunderbolt brother with a few extra tricks up its sleeve. First of all, it has 2 full Thunderbolt 4 ports, 40 GB per second, which is perfect for those fast file transfers. It can drive either a single 8K monitor at 30Hz or 2 4K displays at 60Hz, which is pretty impressive, and it comes with 13 ports, including a DisplayPort, multiple USB-C and USB-A ports for all your peripherals, and it has a 2.5 gigabit fast Ethernet port, which is an absolute must for me personally because of the NAS drives I use to store all my video files. Speaking of video files, slots for microSD and SD cards are placed on the front of the dock alongside a number of ports for easy access and a 90 watts power delivery port that comes in really handy if you want to give one of your devices a quick charge. And it can handle that kind of power distribution because it comes with its own 180 watt DC power brick. So even if I would use this thing in my MacBook setup, it would easily power that setup, including my MacBook, and have enough juice left for some quick charging. I think this dock is very comparable to the CalDigit TS4 that I have been using in my studio, but it's a very compelling alternative because of the price. At an MSRP of $399, it is less than half of the price of the TS4, and if you follow the link in the description below the video, there is a coupon that will get you another 20% off as long as you purchase it before December 31st. Another real desktop hero for me has been the SanDisk G Drive Pro Studio. To store my videos, I use 2 different NAS drives, but those are not fast enough for me to edit straight off of the drives, so I would have to transfer the files from the NAS back onto my computer before I can start editing. I had been eyeballing one of those G Drive Pro Studios for a while because they have read speeds of up to 2600 megabytes per second and 1900 megabytes write speeds. In practice, that comes down to about 2000 megabytes per second sustained read and write speeds, and that is more than enough to edit my videos straight off of this drive. The problem is that it costs over $2,000 here in Europe. So when I saw it for less than half of that at B&H during our New York trip this summer, I just had to pick one up. It has 8 terabytes of storage, so I can work on multiple projects at the same time, and when I'm done with them, I just move them over to my NAS drive for storage and start with a clean slate on the G Drive. Now this is obviously a desktop solution, but when I'm traveling, I need fast storage as well. So I'm always on the lookout for the best SSDs. Currently I'm preparing my trip to Las Vegas where I will be attending CES in the second week of January. So I thought I'd look for a portable fast SSD with a lot of storage. And I landed on the Samsung T9, which is supposed to have read and write speeds of up to 2000 megabits per second, and that got me excited because Samsung offers a 4 terabyte version, which is quite large for a portable SSD, especially one in this category of speed. However, if you're a Mac user like me, do not buy this drive because the speeds are based on USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 x2 ports, and M1 MacBook Pros do not support this, which means I never get read speeds of over 1000 megabytes per second, and that's stretching it. So once again, I fall back on this Orico Thunderbolt SSD drive that delivers actually insane read and write speeds. Seriously, I get write speeds of up to 3500 megabytes per second sometimes, and steady 2500 megabytes per second in read speeds. This drive deserves way more credit. I bet most of you have never even heard of it. I'm not sure why, maybe their marketing department needs to do a better job, but I'm telling you, this is the best drive I have used to date, and I've tried a lot of them. There's a bunch of SSD comparisons here on the channel if you're interested, and while you're down there, a sub to the channel would be much appreciated. Now, staying in the travel section, let's move on to my favorite travel charger of 2023, and that is the X40 by Kushu. I'm sure you've seen this model on my channel because I'm such a fan of it, but I decided to put it on my final 2023 list because they just upgraded it. So the Apple Watch charger gives you 5 watts instead of 3 watts, and that makes a big difference, especially if you're rocking the Apple Watch Ultra. They were also kind enough to send me this really nice new limited edition, which has a wood grain pattern on it. I guess it's because they saw me fanboying so hard over their travel chargers this year. Regardless, thank you so much for sending me this. This will look really nice in my setup here. This thing is just legit in its simplicity. It has 3-way charging for your phone, your Apple Watch, and your AirPods. And when you're done with it, you just give it a smack, folds right down to the perfect size to put back in your tech pouch. Now, this is the aluminum version. There's also a more affordable one made out of high-end plastic. Recently, they also came out with a single Apple Watch charger, the X61, offering also 5 watts charging speed, super thin, you barely notice this thing in your back, but when you pop this out, it becomes a little desk stand for your Apple Watch. Love their stuff, and having used the 3-in-1 for about a year now, I can legitimately highly recommend it. Right, moving away from charging to something completely different and something I did not expect to like this much, and that is the Asus ROG Ally. I basically gave up on gaming the moment I came out of university and I started working, told myself I don't have time for video games, there's too much adulting to do now. Time got even more scarce when we decided to have kids, and as if that wasn't enough, I decided to start this YouTube channel on the side. No time for gaming, right? Wrong. Guys, if you're very busy and somewhat stressed out like me, one of the best things you can do is allow yourself some time to play a game every now and then. I had forgotten how relaxing it can be, and after I eased myself back into it with a Nintendo Switch last year, I decided I wanted to play some big boy games as well, hence my purchase of the ROG Ally, and it's been an absolute dream to play. The only complaint I would have is the battery life, but hey, if you cram this much PC in such a small body, something's gotta give. I'm sure Asus will address the battery life in future generations of the handheld console, but for now, I'm super content with this thing. I mean, you can even hook it up to a monitor and use it as a full-blown Windows PC. Now, for my number one absolute favorite piece of tech of 2023, drumroll please, the M3 Max fully spec'd out MacBook Pro. This thing literally came in just today as I was writing the script for this video, so I haven't even unboxed it. I have obviously not been able to do much reviewing of it, but given how utterly valuable the M1 Max has been in my workflow, it's been the most important tool for me. Without a doubt, I'm convinced that this M3 Max will blow my mind even more. Obviously, I'm going to review this thing extensively over the coming weeks and months. My trip to Vegas will be the perfect opportunity to see what this thing is made of, so definitely check back into the channel for that. For now, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it one of these. It really does help the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for some links to videos you might also want to watch.